Your dad's telling you about the good old days. Real muscle cars. Factory insanity. You'll never experience it. Wrong, these 7 beasts. They actually existed. Factory built, street legal. And they make today's muscle cars look like toys. Buckle up. Listen, modern muscle? Fake, computer limited, lawyer approved. But back then, manufacturers were insane. They built monsters, sold them to anyone, with warranties, and dealers had no idea what they were selling. Today we're counting down 7 factory muscle cars that shouldn't exist. Some you've heard of, some will blow your mind. And number 1, it's so wild they only made it for 1 year because people kept dying. Let's go. Number 7. And we're starting controversial, because this car split the muscle car world. Half loved it, half called it sacrilege, but nobody denied it was wild. The 1987 Buick GNX. Yeah, 1987, the dark ages of muscle cars. Everything was neutered, emissions choked, pathetic. Then Buick said, screw it, and built this black monster with a turbo V6, in a muscle car world of V8s, 276 horsepower. Doesn't sound crazy, until you know they lied, underrated it. To avoid insurance premiums. Real number, over 300, and it ran 12-second quarters. Stock faster than Corvettes, faster than Camaros, a Buick. Only 547 made, each one numbered. They cost $29,000 new. Know what they're worth today? Over $200,000 for a Buick. From 1987, that's not a car, that's a legend. Number 6. Now this one's different, because it wasn't about straight line speed. It was about corners, and stopping, and scaring the absolute hell out of European sports cars. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. Here's the secret. That ZL1 engine? It was a racing motor, aluminum block, aluminum heads, 430 horsepower rated, but everyone knew it made 500 plus, easy, in a street car. Chevy charged $7,200 for the ZL1 package. The base Camaro cost $2,700. You were paying more for the engine than the entire car, and only 69 people were crazy enough to do it. 69 ZL1s total. You want one today? Good luck. Last one sold? $770,000. For a Camaro, not a Ferrari, not a Porsche, a Chevy Camaro. That's the ZL1 effect. Number 5. Deep breath. Because we're entering Mopar territory, where too much power wasn't a thing, where safe was for cowards, and where this car became a legend. The 1970 Plymouth Hemi Cuda. 426 cubic inches. 425 horsepower. But we all know that's BS. Real number? North of 500. Probably 550. Mopar always underrated. Why? Insurance, lawsuits, and making Corvette owners cry. Only 652 Hemi Cudas made in 1970. With that 426 elephant motor, most got wrecked. Kids couldn't handle them. Insurance companies hated them. Banks wouldn't finance them. They were too wild. You want one now? $1 million. Minimum. Good ones? $2 million? Convertible? $3 million plus. For a car that cost $4,000 new. That's not appreciation. That's time travel money. Number 4. Because Ford wasn't about to let Chevy and Mopar have all the fun. They built something. Something absolutely mental, and dealers had no idea what to do with it. The 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429. Here's the thing. Ford built the Boss 429 for one reason. NASCAR homologation. They needed to sell 500 to the public, to race on Sunday. So they shoved a NASCAR engine into a Mustang. Problem solved. 429 cubic inches. Rated 375 horsepower. That's the biggest lie in automotive history. Real power? 500 plus. Easily. With hemispherical heads, NASCAR technology. In a street car, with a warranty. The engine was so big it didn't fit. Ford had to send Mustangs to Carcraft, who cut the shock towers, widened everything, just to squeeze it in. That's commitment to insanity. Only 1,358 made over 2 years. Values today? $400,000 plus. Good ones? $500,000. They're rarer than Ferraris, worth more than most, and they sound like thunder. Number 3. Now we're getting into truly dangerous territory. Because this car, it wasn't just fast, it was violent. Scared owners, killed people, and Plymouth sold it anyway. The 1970 Plymouth Superbird. Look at it. That nose, that wing, it's absurd. 23 inches tall, that wing. Not for looks, for 200 miles per hour stability on NASCAR ovals. But you could buy one and drive to Walmart. Plymouth built it to dominate NASCAR. It worked. Too well. It was so fast, NASCAR banned it. After one season, that's how you know you won, when they changed rules to stop you. Dealers hated Superbirds. Couldn't sell them. Too weird looking. So they cut off the wings, removed the nose, converted them to regular road runners, to move inventory. Today, those butchered cars? Worth nothing. Original Superbirds? $300,000 plus. You could get it with 3 engines, 446 pack, 440 plus 6, or the 426 Hemi. All of them made stupid power. All of them terrified insurance companies. All of them are priceless today. Number 2. And this is where things get really crazy. Because this car isn't just rare. It's mythical. Most people think it's fake, urban legend. But it existed. And it was absolutely bonkers. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro Copo 9561 ZL1 Copo Central Office Production Order. Chevy's secret way to build race cars. For the street order code 9561, with the ZL1 aluminum 427, and you got a monster legally. 430 horsepower rated, real power, 550, maybe 600, nobody knows. Because they were too fast for the drag strips, running 11-second quarters, stock, with street tires. In 1969, only 69 made total, ever most went to racers. Fred Gibb Chevrolet bought 50 for drag racing. Finding one today? Impossible. Buying one? You need 7 figures, minimum. One sold at Barrett-Jackson, $1.2 million. Another? $1.4 million. These are Camaros. Not vintage Ferraris, not Bugattis, Camaros. That's the Copo ZL1 legend. Number 1? Take a breath. Because this car is the absolute pinnacle of factory muscle car insanity. They built it for 1 year. 1. Because it was too dangerous, too fast, too violent, and people kept dying. You ready? The 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 L6 450 cubic inches, 450 horsepower, 500 pound-feet of torque. Those are factory numbers. Real power? North of 550, in a mid-size sedan. This engine had a reputation. It destroyed transmissions, snapped axles, killed inexperienced drivers. Insurance companies refused to cover them. Banks wouldn't finance them. They were too dangerous. Chevy built it for 1970 only, 1 year. Then emissions hit. Insurance crisis. Lawsuits. 1971, they detuned everything. Neutered it. The LS6 died. After one glorious violent year. 12-second quarters. Stock street tires. Factory exhaust. Nothing touched it. Not Hemi cars. Not Boss 429s. Not Copo Camaros. The LS6 Chevelle was king for 1 year. Then gone. Only 4,475 made. With the LS6 most got wrecked. Kids racing them. Couldn't handle the power. Survivors today? Maybe 200. Values? $300,000 plus. Perfect ones? $500,000 for a Chevelle. So why do these 7 matter? Because they represent something we'll never see again. Factory-built violence. No computers, no nannies, no lawyers. Just pure, unfiltered power. 1964 to 1971. That's it. 7 years. The golden age. When manufacturers competed on power. Not efficiency. Not emissions. Not safety. Just how fast can we make it? Then insurance companies woke up. Realized these cars were killing people. Premiums skyrocketed. $1,000 a year for a Hemi. That's 1970 money, equivalent to $7,500 today, for insurance. Clean Air Act. Emissions regulations. Lead-free gas mandated. Compression ratios dropped. Power disappeared. The 1971 LS6 365 horsepower, down 85 in 1 year. It was over. Lawsuits everywhere, kids crashing, parents suing. The car was too powerful. No safety features. Manufacturers were negligent. Lawyers ended the party. Permanently. Today's muscle cars? Fast. Sure. Hellcat makes 700 plus HP. Shelby GT500 makes 760. But they're neutered. Traction control. Stability control. Launch control. Computer nannies everywhere. These 7? No help. No abs. No traction control. No airbags. You against 500 plus horsepower. And physics. That's it. Most people couldn't drive them. That was the point. You had to learn. Feather the throttle. Feel the rear end. Anticipate the slide. Or you'd be in a ditch. Or a tree. These cars demanded respect. Modern cars? They babysit you. And the sound. No mufflers could contain that fury. Open headers? Illegal, but everyone did it. The crack on deceleration. The roar under power. Modern exhausts? Synthesized. Fake. Pathetic. Everything was mechanical. Cable throttle, manual steering, manual brakes. You felt everything. The engine shake, the vibration, the rage in the drivetrain. It was alive. Could they build these today? Technically? Yes. Legally? Never. EPA would shut it down. NHTSA would ban it. Lawyers would sue before the first one sold. It's impossible. That's why values skyrocket. These 7? They're automotive history. Frozen in time. The last gasps of insanity. And collectors know, values only go up, never down. But new Hellcats are faster. Cool. They're also boring. Computers do everything. Any idiot can launch one. That's not muscle. That's a video game, with a steering wheel. These 7 were dangerous. On purpose. That was the appeal. Buy it. Try not to die. Brag to your friends. That was muscle car culture. Raw, stupid, glorious. All 7 were built for one purpose. Go fast. Beat the competition. Win races. Street legality. An accident. They were race cars with license plates and warranties. Dealers had no training. Kid walks in, wants a Hemi Cuda. Dealer sells it. Kid crashes it. Same day insurance company calls. Why did you sell him that? No answer. Most died young. Crashed. Blown up. Raced to death. That's why survivors are priceless. A numbers matching LS6 Chevelle, 1% survived. Maybe less. Finding one? Winning the lottery. Restoring these? Expensive. Correct parts? Unavailable. Reproductions? Wrong. Numbers matching components? Priceless. A proper LS6 restoration, $200,000 plus, before you buy the car. Be careful. Lots of fakes. People rebodying regular Chevelles. Cloning VIN tags. Selling real L6s that aren't. Documentation is everything. Verify. Always. You can still experience these. Find a car show. Ask owners for rides. Feel that violence, the power, the fury. Then you'll understand why values are insane. So which one's the wildest? The LS6 Chevelle wins 1 year only. Maximum violence, then banned. That's peak insanity. But honestly, all 7 are legendary. What's the modern equivalent? Nothing. Nothing comes close. Maybe a demon. But it's neutered by computers. These 7? Raw, unfiltered, deadly. We'll never see their like again. These 7 represent a time we'll never get back. When manufacturers were insane, when power was king, when survival was optional. It was glorious, stupid, and absolutely legendary. Which one would you want? The LS6 Chevelle? Hemi Cuda? Copo Camaro? Comment below. And if you've driven one of these, tell us. Because that's a story worth sharing. Hit that subscribe button. We're diving into automotive history. The cars that mattered. The legends. The myths. No BS. Just pure muscle car truth. Thanks for watching, bro. Now go appreciate what we'll never have again.